Welcome to the world of Jeeves. Thank you for your interest, and let me introduce you to Jeeves Universal ERP Basic Foundation. One of our excited clients, Thomas Concrete Group, was kind enough to give us a quote. The ease of making upgrades that Jeeves architecture allows is a big advantage. We have upgraded the system 6 times and have rarely needed to spend more than 30 work hours on an upgrade. That's pretty fantastic. That's if you're familiar with ERP and upgrades. Let's take a look at what's behind that. This will be conducted in 2 parts. Part 1 will be the basic system setup, user interface, screen components, menu structure, and the relational database tables. Part 2 will be the drill down, online help, built-in collaboration, and then logging out. Number 1, basic system setup. It's all about SQL. Microsoft SQL. Jeeves is all about Microsoft, so if your users know Microsoft, they know Jeeves. So the SQL services, the business processes are built on SQL applications. The users can reach them either through what's called a rich client or a thin client. Rich client means that you're just directly going to the application files of SQL Server, and the thin client and net client means you're going through business services and URL. All of that ends up pulling information from the SQL database. Okay, let's log in. Click on Jeeves. Sign in to the SQL login. Sign into the Jeeves signature. And we're at the Jeeves screen. Number 2, the Jeeves user interface. Let's take a look at the screen. So number 1 talks about showing what server we're on, what database we're on, what users logged in. Number 2 is the menu drop-down available options. Number 3 is the command line. Number 4, the menus through here. Number 5, the bar behind the form is a list. Number 6 is the form with all of the header information on it. Number 7 is what's called nodes. So when you bring a record into the form from the list, the nodes are dependent on the record and the state of the record, so it lets you drill down to lots of places. Number 8 tells you who's logged in at the moment and has other functionalities such as clocks and things that can help you out. All right, let's take a look at it. Well, it's just like Microsoft. Let's go into Sales. We'll expand the Sales folder, and underneath that are things called routings, which are quotations and orders, and under orders are programs. And this particular one will be Order Processing Standard. We'll use that one. Let's look at an order and the elements that surround the order. We go through that. Okay, let's bring up the menu and the program at the same time as one of the commands on the command bar, and take a look at what we have. So here we're in SQL 2005, database Jeeves 10, and we're in the program Order 1. Here are the menu lists. We have favorites and last used programs up here. We have the order, the form for the order header here, which has all the various information in it. We can click on the screen behind it, and that's the list. We go ahead and hit the binoculars, which is a search. Brings up all the orders that are in that place. We click on any one of those, and that brings us back into the order form. Gives us the details of payment terms, dispatch method, the order status, invoice, the location of the inventory, the order lines, and we can create a PO from here, get the delivery addresses. We can copy this order into another order, do internal notes, external notes, all kinds of things like that. If we click on an order line, we see that we get all of the order line information. It's over here on the right side. And so we have lots of good information. Let's take a little closer look at the menu breakdown. So as you saw when we first logged in, we looked at the application, sales, purchasing, inventory, warehouse management, intercompany transfer, production, just all kinds of things, everything you could possibly need. And then when you say click under sales, you get into the routine. And here you have everything under sales that's appropriate for that. Quotations, orders, shipping, dispatch, invoicing, claims, budgets, reconciliation. Of course, Jeeves has said, well, how do you know where you are? Well, let's put some icons in. So when you have a plain icon like this particular one, it's basic information. When you put an exclamation mark with it, it's system information. Users don't touch that. And then data entry, this is what the users use, and the information piece for searches and printing and getting lookup information. Of course, we were using that, weren't we? There's orders, there's sales. I'm just hitting the back arrow, moving up through the menu list, and we have the full menu. Now, this menu is dependent on roles. So if you're a purchasing agent, you have a purchasing role, you're only going to have the purchasing menus. You won't have everything else. You only have what you need. That's the beauty of it. So as we come down to sales, we hit the space bar. It expands it. We go down to orders, hit the space bar again. Now I'm into order processing. I can hit enter, and now I'm into the form, and I can start processing my order. Of course, all of this is driven off of tables. We have lots of tables. Ultimately, we want to be able to have the user enter into a program and have all the correct settings. Well, to do that, it starts way back here with the static tables. The static tables are system settings for the particular modules, and that has its own table, and you set them up, and that happens during the implementation. Then, general basic table, that is all the basic data that's going to stay the same forever and ever, change maybe once in a while, but again, it has its own set of tables. For instance, there's user access to companies, system data, person and own company, that kind of will show you some of this, and then each module has its own basic table. For instance, sales is customer data, item data, pricing, order, dispatch, all the things that make sense. Jeeves is a very practical ERP in the sense when you look at the screens, you know pretty much where you're going. Of course, the static, general, and basic tables are set up and configured in implementation. When that's done, as you go through user testing, then what happens? The users have available to them the programs to use. Well, where do these tables reside? Well, it's built on SQL, right? So we've got the Microsoft SQL Server Management Suite Studio. That's what we're using here, part of Jeeves. Embedded is the database, the system database. Then we have the Jeeves 10, which is the latest version database. The tables go along with that. And then here we show open a trigger for accounts payable, and the trigger is written in SQL. So the green and the blue, whatever, all a particular code, this is SQL. This is everything that Jeeves has written in. This is why the concrete company now built in collaboration and logging out. Thank you.